What's going on, everybody, man? You already know it's your boy, Mr. PVO. We're here with my boy who's with us. You know what I mean? Talk to him. How's it going, bro?
I was doing all right before the game, and then I saw that absolute horrendous performance and pretty miserable, but
terrible performance. I don't know what's going on with the boys, but they're not playing Raptor basketball, and it's sad to see because we all know what the Raptors are capable of. We know that the Raptors, they can get hot like this, but as of late, they're cold. We dropped 9 games in a row. What's going on? Talk to me.
Well, I mean, flat out, we just lost to a team who's lost 20 straight, who hadn't won a game since February 4th. And they didn't have Oladipo. And I there's not much else we can say, man. I think the main problem with this Raptor team, and it's evident, is they can't rebound the ball. I mean, they're getting destroyed on the glass every night, no matter who they're facing. And they forgot how to defend a three. Because remember, we learned back in the 2019 season, they were, at least top 3 in perimeter defense. They can't do that anymore. And people can't say that's all Gasol and Ibaka because those guys aren't contesting threes left and right.
Exactly.
So it's like, these guys here were the guys doing it. So it doesn't help we don't have Kawhi anymore, though.
Sad, man. You know what? I don't want to talk about Kawhi because when Kawhi left, I was mad for like maybe half of the year. Every time I seen Kawhi's name, I got pissed. I still bought his jersey though, because he brought us a championship. But at the end of the day, he left us, and I don't like the way he left, to be honest.
Yeah,
what do you thoughts about that?
I mean, I understand it. The only credit I give Kawhi is this. I mean, he was told to come here, whether he wanted to be here or not. He came out here and he gave us a chip. Like, as he could have come here and we lost in the second round, then he's gone, and then it just looks even worse. The fact we won a chip, I kind of give him that, but yeah, it still hurts that he's gone considering where this team is at now.
Yep, I think we had no OG today, no Utah. I know OG is a big factor in the Raptors mix. Do you still think they should have still pulled it off without him playing in the lineup against a team that's lost 20 games in a row?
No doubt. That they lost, like you said, man. They've lost 20 straight games. Not many teams do that. And this Raptor team, after they were playing well for quite a while before the whole COVID thing hit the team, they were playing all right. They're around 500 basketball. And then I understand they have all the Fred, OG, Pascal out. Those guys are back.
Coaches.
Now. Yeah, those guys are back now. They continue to lose, and you just lost to a team who's lost 20 straight games. So at this point, I don't know what to say.
It's unbearable, man. We were in the playoff race. I mean, thank God we're playing in the East, and we're only maybe 3 games out of 8th place, which isn't too bad. But looking at the East, you don't want to be at the bottom seed. You don't want to go first round playing a Philly or first round playing a Brooklyn when KD's gonna come back healthy and go crazy on us. But what do you think we have to do in order to pull our socks up and get back into the driver's seat? Because right now we're in the passenger seat and we're not going where we want to go.
I mean, the couple of things I reiterated earlier, if this team could find a way to learn how to play perimeter defense and rebound the ball, they'd be fine. They do just fine because we know their interior defense ain't bad. You know that Kyle is going to take a charge all the time, so that's always a threat. You know Boucher's going to block on the inside. So there's always those threats inside in the paint. But when it comes to the perimeter stuff, their switches are awful. They're always, pointing at each other, looking at each other after a play. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to know what's going on here? So
exactly.
It's communication, and it's just, I don't know. They just look off, and it's really bad. Especially, I think a crazy number that I heard was when they lost 7 straight, I think it was Powell had scored 30 plus in 5 of 7. And I'm like, and you've lost all 7. Like, what is this?
How? You think it has to do with you think it has to do with the coaching?
It's so hard, because coaching is such a hard thing to go off of, right? Because the roster, they got to go out there and play. And we've seen Nick Nurse take us to a championship. The question, that's always going to be there is, with that team, with Kawhi and Danny Green and Marc Gasol, what if Dwayne Casey was behind the helm, right? Would they have won the championship, right?
Nope.
Exactly. Nope. So, I don't think Nick Nurse is the problem. People love to just point fingers, but I think in the end, it's just the players got to go out there and play. and Pascal's not what he was when Kawhi was here because he's now the first option and he hasn't learned to score that way yet. So the only way that I can see this team turning around is if they acquire a big man who can actually rebound. But Andre Drummond, no thank you. The guy can't do anything else.
No, he's not. I personally think, like, I'm a big Raptor fan, and I don't think he would fit in well with the system that we have going. I personally think, like, I know people don't like Aaron Baines, but I think Aaron Baines would be, because Aaron Baines can shoot the three, and Drummond can't really shoot the three, right? And we're a three-point shooting team, and whether we like it or not, to be honest, the Raptors put up a lot of pointers per game. So what do you think about the other bigs that may be available? I know Miles Turner is available. I know Tristan Thompson's available. What do you think about those guys? You think they will fit in well?
I think Miles Turner would be an interesting one because I think that brings he's a very active big, and he can, like you said, he can shoot the three as well. So you add that element in your game. You're watching now, right? You're watching when Baines is out there, they're letting him shoot the three.
Yeah.
So that just it kind of defeats the purpose. He can shoot the three. He has knocked down some threes, and we're like, that's what we want to see. We want to see consistently, and he just hasn't done that at all this year. But for Miles Turner, look, I love Miles Turner. Not only is he active on the defense, and the guy blocks shots like it's nothing. He's got the inside game. He's a great rebounder. I mean, he's a lot of things the Raptors do need, but what are you going to have to give up? And are the Raptors in a position right now that it's a one-player fix? I don't even know if it's a one-guy fix at this point.
And if you think about it, who would you give up? Think about it. Like, say we had a chance to get him, would you give up Norman Powell for him? And
Well, you got to look at it from Indiana's standpoint, right? Because they're kind of in that weird spot as well, where they're in that like tweener team. Are they a playoff team? Are they a retooling, I guess, team? If that's the case, you wouldn't really want to go after a Powell who's on the last year of his contract. See, they'd probably want a younger guy who's locked up, or like, get a Malachi Flynn and some draft picks. But at this point where the Raptors are at right now, do you really want to start trading guys like that? I don't know. I don't see them really going the adding route this deadline. I just don't see it. You're 9 games under 500. I mean, it's tough to see.
It's sad, man. It's sad. What would you call a successful season for the Raptors as of right now?
As of right now, that's tough. I mean, like I said, I don't see them being a playoff team as hard as that is for me to say. Just the way they're playing, and really the way they've played all year, and kind of the style they've played, it's just not going to hold up. The fact that as you know, I mean, the NBA now is a 3-point driven league.
Yeah.
And if you can't defend that, you're not going to win games. I swear they're giving up 120 a night almost every single game. And you can't score 125 every given night because your team doesn't have that guy. They don't have a Brooklyn Nets tandem, right? That can drop that much. So a successful year, man, at this point in time, I hate to say it, and it pains me to say it, it's move on from Lowry and Powell and get assets. I hate to say it. It pains me to say that so much, but we got to think of the future. And I've been a Leaf fan all my life, and watching guys just, play their tenure out and just leave for nothing, it's done nothing for the franchise. Right. So at this point, we want to get back to the point where we get a chip. We want another chip at some point. To do that, you got to get assets. And I think you were hearing about Tyler Hero. And I'm like, okay, Lowry's on an expiring contract. Powell's on an expiring contract. If you can get a Tyler Hero for guys like that, give me that. Like, honestly, at that point, it would pay me to watch them go. Get a guy like Tyler Hero back, as young as he is and as good as he is, I'm all for it. It's worth it, because you think about it, there's a lot more upside in the long run. We got to think about the long run. You're right. As you said, I'm tired of people just playing their, contracts up and then boom, they leave and we get nothing. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Personally, I think that the Raptors are still gonna make playoffs. I think they're gonna get back into the groove of things. I think Siakam's, he has to have a wake-up call. Ever since he came back from playing COVID, today he had a decent game, but you know what? He needs to give us at least 25 every single night in order for us to be good. Because I don't want to say he's the leader because Kyle Lowry's the leader, but he's next up. We paid him. Fred can do as much as he can do. Siakam can do as much as he can do. But if you think about it like this, like, are we expecting too much from Siakam? I always ask that question. I mean, I think that we expected him to jump from Kawhi's sidekick into the number one option like that and have no problems. I mean, you expected things to happen, especially the way he started that next year and how he was so dominant. You knew teams were going to adjust. You knew teams were going to we're going to double him hard. And we were kind of waiting and seeing how he was going to react. And he really hasn't taken that next step where he's able to get around that type of defense. But I think we're all expecting too much out of Siakam. Absolutely. You won most improved player. And we all say he's the number one option. So for your number one option, you expect huge things. And I think, of course, we're expecting too much. I think without a doubt. But this is a team where it's just not one guy. And I think we've all learned that this year. You haven't heard a lot of Siakam negativity over the last little while because I think people are finally realizing that.
Yeah, he's a 27th pick. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'm not expecting Siakam to drop 30 every night. I'm not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he was a 27th pick. He's still good though. There's a lot more upside to his game, but we'll see what happens, man. How do you feel about Boucher? I always like talking about Boucher because I feel like Boucher does all those little things that we need. Like, Serge Ibaka used to do a lot of little things, but, we don't have a Serge Ibaka now. So I feel like Boucher is that new Ibaka with less muscle.
Well, for me, I got to love-hate with Boucher. I love some of the stuff he does. Like, lately, I've been seeing a lot of charges, and I'm like, okay, he's taking a book out of Kyle Lowry stuff. And, of course, you love the block shots. You love the dunks and the energy he brings at all times. But the thing that just makes me want to scream every damn time is, and you saw it again today in this game, him jumping out at everything, every shot. And be like, well, he has this many blocks. Well, you're damn right he has that many blocks, and you're jumping out at everything. You're bound to block some of them, right? So I don't know, man. I look at Boucher and I'm like, look, there's so many good things. He's definitely developed a lot over the past couple of years. But there's still a lot of work to be done on him, but he needs meat. He's a guy that's, I don't know how tall he is, 6'10", 6'11", something like that. Yeah. But, I've seen, I don't know how many rebounds he had today. Again, I'll bring up rebounding again. I think last game he had, 2 points and 5 boards, and I'm like, he didn't even make an impact on the game. You mentioned Serge Ibaka. That guy was a double-double machine every game.
Exactly.
And not only did he block shots, he was great defensively in all aspects, blocking shots and just perimeter defense, interior defense, and he could shoot the three. He was great mid-range game. Like, he was an all-around such a solid player. Boucher still got a lot of room to grow. I think he will grow into maybe a Serge Ibaka type of player, but with him not being as big as Ibaka, I think that's where he's going to lack in that sense when it comes to the rebounding and whatnot there.
Man, I do love myself some, I do like the way Boucher plays. He definitely does bring that hustle because we need that hustle. We don't have that guy, that hustle. We don't have hustle man chat. Rondis, Hollis, Jefferson.
Yeah.
He was that guy. No matter what, every game he was bringing it. But hey, well, I think we're going to make the playoffs. I hope we make the playoffs. And once we make the playoffs, anything is possible. If we play Philly first round, I think we'll beat Philly. But that's just my prediction.
That's the crazy thing about sports, man. As you know, like, you get in the playoffs, it's a crapshoot from there. Look at March Madness right now. You kidding me?
Oh my goodness,
that's the fun stuff right now.
It's crazy. Who do you have to win everything?
Right, exactly. But hey, I'm all for it. If they want to make that push for the playoffs, I'm all for it. But we'll have to see this team play better than losing to a team who's lost 20 straight games for them to make the playoffs.
It's funny. I was talking to my boy literally earlier today. He's like, the Raptors are going to lose to Houston, right? I'm like, there's no way the Raptors are going to lose to Houston. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, oh, they lost 20 games. I'm looking at the Raptors. I'm like, they lost 8. I'm like, finally a W beside the Raptors name. And what do? They blow the game in the fourth quarter. They were down. They brought the game back. And what did they do? They couldn't close. Like the usual, like when they went 2-8 in the beginning, that was a problem. They couldn't close. And now we're seeing that again.
I think it's not even the fact that they lost the game. It's the fact, I think Fred in the third quarter brought it to 2. Like, he was unreal for that stretch, brought it to 2. And we're like, okay, maybe they make that big push, put them away, and we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Nah, you lose by 18. It's like, okay, you didn't lose by 5. You didn't lose by 10. You lost by 18.
Crazy.
It's just embarrassing at that point.
It's actually sad, man. It's actually sad. I expect better from these guys every single time I watch them play. You just know that they can play so much better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see it there every night, man. You see it there. Like, you see in spurts the energy in the defense. They get in the fast break, and you see some great shots. And they get wide open looks. Fred gets hot, starts taking threes from everywhere, but now it starts knocking down threes from everywhere. Okay, here comes the Raptors, and they like hit a brick wall, and they're like, oh, okay, where'd that go? So I don't know. They're bipolar as hell. I think that's a good way of putting it.
I like that one. I'm gonna use that one. That should be the title of this interview. Bipolar as hell, man. Yeah. All right, man. We have a little segment where, you know, what I like to do is I like to throw some Raptor names, and I want you to grade them on a scale of 1 to 10. Player ratings. So we're gonna start with Kyle Lowry. What do you give Kyle Lowry today out of 10?
Today, you know what? I didn't even look at the stats. I was that sad to watch. But from the game, it didn't look like much of an impact to me. I'm gonna go B because are we going out of 10? Out of 10. Yeah, I'll give him like a 7.5 because Kyle Lowry, he's gonna do everything else to help your team. Whether he's not making shots, he'll do everything else. So I'll give him a 7.5.
All right, Norman Powell.
He looked frustrated. He looked real frustrated all game long. So I'm gonna give him a 5. I didn't think he was all that great today.
Oh, wow, 5. That's low, man.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Steady Freddy.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta give. If I'm giving the highest grade out there, I gotta give him a 9. I mean, like I said, they were down by double digits in the third. Basically, him alone brought it back to 2. I mean, he did everything he could today. Fred was the guy. He was the MVP in today's game if you're looking at it that way. So I got to give him a 9 out of 10.
Yep, and they started Stanley Johnson today, and I was kind of confused as to why. Like, I'm not sold on him, but
no.
Stanley Johnson, what do you give him today out of 10?
Man, I didn't really see him that much. I don't think he made that much of an impact. I'll get, you know, see if I gave Powell a 5, I probably should go lower, but that's awful. You know, screw it. 4 out of 10 for Stanley Johnson. Didn't even see him out there.
Crazy. Pascal Siakam.
You know, okay. See, as much as stats suck in a game like that, he, like you mentioned earlier, he didn't have a half bad of a game. So I'm gonna give Pascal an 8. I thought he played a pretty solid game all over.
That's it, man. Bembry.
Well, for the first time since, March 14th, we got to see the guy, but he wasn't out there too long, I don't think. I'm going to give him a 6 because I saw him scrambling around on defense, and he's kind of that Rondae Hollis-Jefferson type. He's always going to give you that energy. So I'll give him a 6 today.
All right, man. We're going to go with my boy, Aaron Baines. Not really my boy, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did. I think he put some guy in a poster, I think, in the first quarter there. But he also blew a wide open dunk as well. Yeah. So, man, there's not many Baines fans out there. Man, I'll give him a 4.5.
4.5, man. Boucher, yeah. What are you giving Boucher today?
You know, oh my God, Boucher. I'll give him a 6 because I thought he brought some pretty good energy out there. He was making some shots. I thought he was all right. I'll give him a 6.
A 6. All right, man. What are you giving Nick Nurse?
It's so hard to grade a coach when your team plays that bad. And he's throwing every which combination. You mentioned Stanley Johnson gets the start, so he's just literally throwing names in a basket and see what happens. But look, he's doing everything he can. I got to give him a 7.5. He's trying every which combination to see what can work, and he's doing all he can. So that's 7.5 for coach.
Speaking of combinations at work, what is your best Raptor lineup with the team that we have?
Well, clearly it's not with Baines in the starting unit, and why? I mean, okay, are we talking healthy with OG?
No, yeah, healthy. Everybody, 100%. Okay.
All right, so they clearly like going Fred and Kyle at the 1-2, and I mean, who else is going to play? You know, who's going to play the 1 or the 2 if Lowry's playing the 1? Well, it's me, Powell. Well, where's Fred going to play? He's not coming off the bench. So you got to go those two. Fred and Kyle at the 1-2, and then you got Norm at the 3. Probably OG at the 4 and Pascal at the 5. It's as much as the smallest lineup. That's defensively. That's probably your best lineup you got out there, man. Like, who else is going to get out there and replace those guys on the defensive end and even give you that offensive side?
Yeah, man, it's true. Small ball. I'm just looking at the Raptors schedule because I want to see who they play next. We play Denver in 2 days. Oh, and on the 24th. What are your thoughts on that game? What do you think is going to happen? You think we get a W?
Is it in Denver?
No, it's in Tampa.
Well, it's basically on the road anyways. But, you know, watch. They'll probably win that game.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet they win that game?
Yeah, I agree.
that team winning against Denver at Amalie Arena in Tampa. I'm gonna go for it.
That's it, man. I'm to be honest, I'm with you because once they lost to Cleveland, I'm like, they're gonna lose tomorrow. Then boom. Well, I thought they were gonna win today, but you know what? They lost back to back. They're in a slump. Okay, this is what we call a slump. I think they'll pull it out, and they'll pull the cat out of the bag, and they better win by 10. I need the Raptors to win by 10, and then they'll gain my confidence back because I'm losing my confidence as a fan, and people are saying the word tank, and those are words. That's one word that I do not want to hear.
Yeah, Raptor fans have not heard that in a while. The word tank has been not used in quite some time in Raptor land. But I think, and you mentioned it, like a 10-point win would be nice. I think they need to, in order for them to get a 10-point plus victory against Denver, they have to put up that same type of effort they did against Utah. They have to play that sort of mentality. Look at the defense they played against Utah. The way they handled Rudy Gobert for most of the game, and the way Spida was not really anywhere to be found early in the game. They got to play like that. I mean, I don't know how the hell they're going to control Jokic. They had nobody to go with him. So I don't know how the hell that's going to work. But they need the offense flowing. I think that's the only way that you beat a Denver team. You're not going to beat them on the defensive end because Jokic is just going to beat you up down there.
It's crazy, man. All right, Jay, nice talking to you, man. Shout yourself out. Shout your channel out. This is your time, bro.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you having me on here. This is the first time I've actually interaction Raptor wise. I've done some Jays stuff, but no Raptor stuff. This is pretty cool. TO Sports Talk on YouTube and on Instagram as well, Twitter as well. So anybody loving Leafs and Jays as well, follow up page, all that great stuff, and hopefully this Raptor team can turn this around, man. I'm hoping they at least get us a win because this is getting sad at this point.
That's it, man. I don't want to see us lose 10 in a row, man. It's already embarrassing that we let the team that lost 20 games in a row beat us without Victor Oladipo. That's crazy to me.
They also didn't have Eric Gordon as well. And I'm just who do they have? They have John Wall, who looked like Wizards John Wall, and Christian Wood, who wasn't really anywhere to be found. So this guy Tate, I've never heard of the guy. He dropped 22. And I'm
who's this guy? But it's crazy, man. It's the new NBA. That's what I like to say. And let's talk a little bit about the Jays since we're on that topic. Sure. I think they're gonna be good this year, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they can stay healthy, man, the offense looks great. The bullpen looks great. Starting pitching, they might have to patch that shit together. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can say that on here.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, bro.
Okay. I don't think if they can patch that together and whatnot. But overall, I think because I think the playoff format's the same way. So I can't see them not making the playoffs. So it's gonna be a really good year, especially the Vladdy is absolutely ripping the ball in the spring. It's gonna be fun, man.
It's gonna be fun, bro. All right, bro. Nice talking to you, man. We love talking to you. Thank you for coming on our channel, talking to us whenever you want to talk again. We'll probably get a couple more interviews in, and we'll talk sports, bro, because that's what we do here at the Wrap Up TV. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man. Make sure you wash your hands, you wear your mask, because we're trying to get back into Jurassic Park, and we want to cheer the boys on when they come back next year, because they better come back next year. I don't want to deal with any more of this COVID stuff. I'm tired of it. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Raptors play at the Raptors Arena. Scotiabank. All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, bro.